A guy remarks that he's Ceres, a man of unwavering integrity not long ago. He activated a system which makes it so the person locked by him will have their deepest lust awakened. Originally, he didn't want this system at all, but this battle changed his mind. Princess Yog, the Demon King's wife, takes down a guy. Bella, a D-rank warrior, asks Ceres to leave without her since they're no match for the demonic beasts at all, and tells him to not play the hero here since he's just an F-rank warrior. However, he questions how he can run away at such a critical moment when he's here for the safety of the city. He tells her to not worry because he can handle her, but Yog carelessly yawns and mutters that humans are too weak to pique her interest. Ceres declares that he will never retreat from this fight, but Bella notices that he's bleeding. She warns him that simply standing here and facing Yog will exhaust him, so she questions how he plans to fight her. She insists that he should run before a goblin tells Yog that there's still a human standing over there. Yog rushes forward and orders the goblins to kill him. She declares that she's going to use his head to make a fine cup for her beloved king. However, Ceres goes into his system and locks Yog as the target. Ceres activates the system before Yog grabs his face and suddenly kisses him. Bro got the best ability ever made. He's really getting hit on by a huge monster queen. Ceres' attack increases 100% as it's revealed that this system can enhance his combat power. Shocked, Bella hurriedly asks Ceres what he's doing, and the goblin asks Yog what she's doing. Ceres suddenly throws the goblin away, seeing which Yog hurriedly gets away from Ceres, who wipes his mouth. Shocked, Yog wonders what the heck happened to her and inwardly questions if she wasn't supposed to kill this guy. She asks herself how she ended up kissing him. She realizes he's done something as Ceres declares that for the sake of this city's safety, he'd even sacrifice his own body. The goblins question if Yog just kissed Ceres, and one mutters that he heard a rumor of her having a secret lover, so it seems like that's true? Ceres tells them to bring it on because he will fight until the very end. The goblins discuss that they didn't expect her lover to be human, but that's probably why he didn't even dodge her kiss. However, another goblin angrily asks how they're daring to question Yog's loyalty to the king and says they're demonic beasts, so cheating is something humans do, not them. Yog remarks that the fact that she kissed a human must not reach the king's ears, and she's surprised by how fast her heart is racing. She orders the goblins to kill the human, so they rush towards Ceres and start attacking. Ceres is shocked to see that his sword broke with a single strike. He hurriedly dodges the goblin's attack, remarking that his defense hasn't gotten any stronger, but his attack has increased by 100 points. He slashes at the goblin and breaks his halberd. Another goblin rushes at him from behind, so Ceres swiftly turns around and sends it flying. Surprised, Bella remarks that an F-ranked warrior isn't supposed to possess this kind of power. Ceres believes that strike must have cleaved the guy in half, but he sees that it only scratched his skin and is surprised by how formidable these goblins are. Ceres turns around to see Yog kicking him and hurriedly blocks the attack, but it causes a huge impact. As Ceres falls, the goblins see that Yog has subdued him and charge forward to finish him off. However, Yog suddenly slams him away with her tail. She announces that no one is going to make a move, so they should obey her command or face death. She blushingly declares that she will personally teach this human a lesson, as it's revealed that her lust index is 91%. The goblins egg Yog on to kill him, so she inwardly says she's going to bite him to death. As she bites him, Ceres' defense rises by 50 points, and he inwardly questions if this is the price that comes with the power. Such a thing is an utter insult to a man of integrity like him. But compared to the safety of the residents, such a minor insult is nothing at all. Yog remarks that she's getting really strange and that she can't believe she's doing this to a human. She hurriedly tries to stop herself and reminds herself that she's a powerful demonic beast. She realizes she's losing control of her body as Yog. The goblin wonders if Yog is going to actually even kill this human. However, another goblin shuts him up and orders him to open his eyes and see it clearly since Yog is just searching for the weak spot on his body. And so, they should just shut up if they don't know a damn thing. Ceres' defense rises by 130 points and attack rises by 150 points. He remarks that he should be able to handle the goblins now and declares that it's time for him to fight back, so he suddenly attacks Yog with his sword. However, she grabs his hand with her tail and grabs his neck. Shocked, Ceres realizes that's still not enough before Yog slams him down. The goblin says he was mistaken since Yog does intend to kill him. Another says he's ashamed of his dirty thoughts just now and egg her on to kill him. However, Yog blushingly remarks that her body feels really strange now, but she must hold it back. She asks Ceres how he dared to oppose her and declares that she's going to strip him now. She suddenly rips off his shirt and announces that she wants this human to see the vast difference between his weak body and the body of demonic beasts. She remarks that she's really itching to see this human's muscles, seeing which the goblins cheerily call it a ruthless move and tell the others to watch and learn. Ceres's armor crumbles, and he sees Yog reach out towards him. Yog inwardly urges herself to hold it back, and to definitely hold it back since she can't get any closer to him. She remarks that something is surging up from the depths of her heart, and inwardly insists that she can definitely hold herself back. Her lust index rises to 100%, and Ceres realizes he doesn't even stand a chance against these demonic beasts now. For the safety of this city, he can only sacrifice himself for the greater good. He suddenly embraces Yog and remarks that he needs to increase his stats. A while later, Ceres' stats rise significantly before the Demon King suddenly appears in front of them. He slowly asks Yog what she's doing, as the system informs Ceres it's detected that the Demon King Bartley has suffered a severe mental blow, so all his bonus values have been doubled. The Demon King angrily declares that he's going to kill her, so Yog hurriedly asks him to let her explain, but Ceres raises his sword, wondering if his current level is enough. The Demon King rushes towards Ceres and tells him to get away from Yog, so he gets slammed into a wall. Bella asks if he's alright, so he mutters that he can still hold on and remarks that Bartley finished that distance in an instant and his attack power is sick. Bartley asks Yog if she didn't promise him that she would never cheat on him again. He shakily questions if she remembers what she said to him last time. He asks why she's doing this again, so she declares that he's the very reason why she's doing this, and asks why he came so late and what he was doing just now. Bartley and the goblins are both confused, but Yog tells him that it's all because he came too late, that she almost headed down the wrong path again. She asks how he has the nerve to question and threaten her when he did something wrong. Bartley starts stammering, so Ceres asks what took him so long and turns away. He hurriedly asks her to not be mad and apologizes, explaining that he saw many humans running away, so he went to deal with them first. He promises that it won't happen again, seeing which a goblin sees that he really is in love with Yog, since he can even take that and apologize to her. Another one says Bartley has a much bigger heart than he does, so he thinks he should stay single. Ceres remarks that he should quietly slip away while their attention is elsewhere, since that demonic beast is way out of his league. As Bartley is comforting Yog, Bella and Ceres start leaving. He asks if he should carry her and if she can walk, but she says she can walk herself and her legs are a little broken, but it's not a big deal. Yog emotionally asks Bartley why he was so late and asks if he knows that the human had been shamelessly seducing her, so she was really close to having her love for him tarnished. Bartley assures her that it's all right, since that human should take all the blame. He declares that he'll kill Ceres right now and asks if she will stop him. However, she says she obviously won't and declares that he's her one true love. So even in death, they will return to nothingness together, so she questions how she could possibly develop feelings for other men. Bartley angrily asks the goblins why they aren't stopping those two humans since they're slipping away. The goblin reveals that Yog ordered them to stay out of this, so the Demon King calls them brainless fools and rushes forward. Ceres braces himself as Bartley stops in front of him and furiously asks how he dared to seduce his love. He slams Ceres away, and Ceres wearily remarks that he thinks some of his ribs are broken and admits he can't defend this guy's attacks at all, and he's so fast that he can't even catch his movements. Ceres admits that in his current state, he's completely not Bartley's match. Bartley charges forward and declares that he will tear him apart, and that this is what he gets for seducing his wife. Ceres remarks that there's no other way, he can only keep leveling up and activates the system. Just before Bartley's sword is about to strike Ceres, Yog slaps Bartley and tells him to not hurt him. Stunned, Bartley questions why as Ceres hurriedly gets up and starts running away. Bartley realizes Yog does care about him and suffers another mental blow. So Ceres levels up again and wonders if he stands a chance against this demon now, even though he's only gained 1 level. He decides to forget it and just keep a safe distance from him first. Yog blushingly exclaims that she's dying to get her hands on that human's body. Bartley grabs her hand and asks what she's talking about when she just said that he was the one true love of her life. She whips her hand out of his clutch and chases after Ceres, declaring that she doesn't want to suppress her desire anymore and is going to let it all out. She grabs Ceres and starts cuddling him, so his vitality, concentration, attack, perception, and agility all increase. It should have been me, not him. Bartley admits it's entirely his fault, since he didn't mean to create an opportunity for this human, but now that he's here, he'll kill him right now. Since only then will she be able to return to her normal behavior. However, Yog angrily orders him to buzz off and leave them alone. Shocked, Bartley falls on his knees as his mental world collapses and reaches level 5. Bella rushes towards Yog, calling her a shameless beast and ordering her to get her hands off Ceres. She slashes at Yog, but Ceres hurriedly warns her to not come here. Yog suddenly ties her up in her tail and slams her into the wall beside them. As she's cuddling with Ceres, she inwardly questions how she became like this and remarks that it feels like she's lost herself. But deep down, there's a hint of joy. Bartley angrily declares that it's all a lie and that he won't accept it. He rushes towards them and hysterically screams that he's going to kill both of them, but his sword stops just short of Yog's face, and he depressingly declares that he still loves her. His sword drops to the ground as the system informs Ceres that Bartley has completely collapsed and is about to self-destruct. As the goblins hurriedly start running, Yog asks Bartley what he's doing as Ceres reaches level 10 and unlocks a new skill function. Ceres suddenly slashes off Bartley's head as it's revealed that he's received the skill, Instant Slash, which allows him to transform his physical body into a phantom and instantly appear around his target within a 16-foot radius. And then he can launch a slash against his target. Yog watches in shock as Bartley's body collapses and his self-destruction is halted. Ceres looks down at his broken sword and remarks that he might get more skills if he keeps leveling up. Yog mutters that he was much cooler last time, and she thought he would be even calmer this time, so she questions how come he collapsed. She says he really is a weak-hearted guy before Bartley's body suddenly rushes towards her and grabs her. Shocked, Yog lets Bella go from her tail. Ceres swiftly catches Belle before she can fall down. Bartley tells Yog she should keep her word and go to hell with him because he's an insecure loser who can't see her messing around with someone else. She hurriedly declines as it's revealed that Bartley is about to self-destruct. She desperately tells him to let go of her and begs someone for help, so Ceres swiftly slashes off both of Bartley's arms, forcing him to let go of Yog. Bartley wildly screams for Yog before he suddenly self-destructs, causing a massive explosion. Ceres, Yog, and Bella are thrown back by the impact, and Yog's body slowly dematerializes as they're all sent flying. They all fall down, and Ceres alarmingly wonders if they fell to the bottom of the dungeon. He suddenly notices a lizard sitting on his stomach and learns that the demonic beast Yog has returned to her original form, Jade Lizard, in which her magic points are 0 and her health points are 9. She hurriedly rushes into his pocket to hide, as Bella wearily gets up and wonders where Ceres is. Since the Demon King Bartley has been defeated, the system asks him if he wants to accept or decline the map of Nye Dungeon as his reward. Surprised to see that it's a map, Ceres wonders if he should activate the map or not, and admits that this question should be handled with caution. Bella hurriedly gets away from Ceres when she realizes she was sitting over him, and embarrassingly apologizes. As she's wallowing in the corner, Ceres activates the map and is stunned to see that all paths, traps, resources, and even the rooms are all marked on the map. He happily says this is excellent since he can reach the boss's room directly without getting lost. Bella asks what he's muttering about and scoots over before asking if he can see something, but he says it's nothing, remarking that this system is only visible to him. He helps her up and says they should get out of here, so she agrees. However, Ceres suddenly feels his heart pump aggressively and collapses in pain. He throws up blood, so Bella hurriedly asks what's wrong and why he's suddenly feeling pain. Ceres' veins start bulging inside his hand, and he screams in pain as his finger starts melting. Ceres continues wildly screaming and rolls around in pain. Several purple slashes unexpectedly appear on his back as well due to the weird liquid. Bella hurriedly grabs him and holds him in her embrace as he screams, remarking that blood is all over his back so she can't let him rub against the floor. She realizes that he's hot all over as well, like his body has been burned. Ceres' pinky melts half off and stops hissing after a few seconds, so he wearily heaves heavy breaths for a while. He mutters that he's fine, and the pain has stopped, so he's all right now. Bella asks what happened to his body and why it would melt, so he slowly reveals that he's poisoned. Half a year ago, his city was under attack by demonic beasts. He saw a few of them fighting a warrior from the guild, and they seemed to be fighting over a box. That box was hacked by a demonic beast, which resulted in a shockwave that flipped Ceres in the air and dropped him into the ruins. The boss slowly oozed out some purple liquid and it started raining blood. Under the debris, Ceres remarks that the pungent smell is making him nauseous, as the man suddenly started screaming in pain and his body began melting. Buried under the debris, Ceres' body wasn't directly exposed to the bloody rain, but having smelled it, he got poisoned. He woke up in the hospital and the doctor told him that he had a year to live tops. A screen suddenly appears in front of him, stating that the blood of immortal demon can detoxify him. Surprised, he wonders what this is before the screen asks if he would like to bind with the system, since the player of the system can get the tip of the blood of the immortal demon. Ceres presses yes, so it informs him that Ney Dungeon is where the immortal demon is kept. Presently, he explains that he later learned how to detoxify himself and that the solution is right in the dungeon. He slowly gets up and says they should get going since there's a room ahead with some clothes and weapons, so they can head there first, and Bella agrees. As a party is making their way through a dungeon, their tank suddenly gets shot in the head, so they hurriedly dodge the beam that killed him. The vice captain of Slayer Squad, Tyler, a B-rank adventurer, tells them all to not move since any sudden movements now could trigger other traps. The others point out that even Claude, who was the strongest defense among them, got shot in the head and question if they can really get through here, since the cannon fodder has been sent out as bait so they have no one to clear the path for them. One says he doesn't want to go back now since they had a hard time reaching here. The A-rank captain of the Slayer Squad, Hills tells the lowest-ranking individual to step forward as usual, so someone shoves the D-rank member, Maxwell, forward. Hills orders him to walk forward and find the right path. Maxwell starts shaking with fear, so Hills reminds him of the consequences of disobeying orders. One member asks him to wait and says he's made an arrow that can bounce back and forth, so it can at least detect one trap, giving him a better chance of survival. However, Hills suddenly chops the arrow into two and declares that he will kill him if he ever sees him making crap like this again. This is what used to happen to scientists in the olden days. He orders Maxwell to get up and explore the path, so Maxwell tremblingly takes a step. He sees that there isn't a trap here, but he wonders which step he should take next. As he's standing there confused, Hills asks what he's dilly-dallying about and tells him to just move forward instead of wasting their time. Maxwell slowly steps on another tile and breathes a sigh of relief when nothing happens. Maxwell tells him to keep going, so he remarks that he's going to die and can't take another step. He suddenly turns around and starts running, hysterically declaring that he doesn't want to die and wants to go home. As he's running, he suddenly gets stabbed, and another member shockingly sees that this one came from below. He questions if it's possible that each attack won't come from the same direction, and says there's no way to dodge the attacking beam since it just suddenly appears out of nowhere. As Maxwell's limp body collapses, Hills orders the next lowest-ranking guy to step forward, but the door behind them unexpectedly opens, and Ceres enters through it. Ceres wonders why they're here too, as the others inform Hills that Ceres and Bella are from the bait team. Hills inwardly questions if this guy disobeyed his orders and escaped since the bait team should have been wiped out. He angrily asks Ceres why he's still alive, and in a flashback from one day before the expedition, Hills furiously asks Ceres how he knows the color of his wife's underclothes. Ceres hurriedly says he's honing his instincts for the upcoming battle, and it allows him to sense the color of everything around him. But Hills doesn't believe him and angrily declares that he better not be involved with his wife Shirley, or he'll kill him right now. So his friends hurriedly ask him to calm down since it's against the law to kill someone in the city. Ceres valiantly announces that he won't tolerate this insult to his integrity and will show them what he's capable of. He abruptly tells them what underclothes they're wearing hearing, which a guy tells Hills he's really wise and agrees that they really should kill Ceres. However, another man points out that they can't do it in the city since it'll cause trouble if his body is discovered. Hills asks what they should do if that's the case, so a guy suggests that they can assign him to bait team since that way, he's as good as dead. Presently, Ceres remarks that he took a detour here just to change his gear, but he didn't really expect to run into a Slayer Squad here, so they must be lost. Hills orders Ceres to come here and declares that this is an order from the captain of the Slayer Squad. Ceres doesn't say anything and sees that Hill is trying to make the lower-ranked members clear the path for him again. A guy from Hill's party tells him that if they can reach there alive, they can simply follow the route and bypass the traps, so there's no need to put their members at risk anymore. Hills mutters that they've already lost dozens of valuable members to destroy the final boss of the C-rank dungeon, so they can't afford to turn back now. He tells the guy that this decision is for the sake of the entire team and asks if he doesn't like it before saying he'll be the next one to clear the way for them. The guy doesn't say anything, so Hills asks Sirius if his instincts aren't finely tuned and declares that now is the time to utilize them for the team's benefit and says he should know the consequence of disobeying orders. Sirius inwardly activates the map and agrees, but Bella hurriedly tells Sirius to not go since there's definitely something wrong with Hills, so they should search for another route. However, Sirius says the captain has ordered him to come over and tells her to not worry because it'll be fine. Hill's party is stunned to see that he took the first step without hesitation and question if that F-rank guy was being serious when he said he's going to sense the traps by intuition. Sirius walks 3 spaces forward and 2 spaces to the left, shocking the men who see that he took 3 consecutive steps and is still unharmed. They say the guy is really lucky, but fear that he will die after a few steps. Sirius goes 2 to the left, and a man shockingly sees that he changed direction and took another step. As Sirius steps forward, they wonder if the trap caught him, but they realize that's not the case. They admiringly notice that he's taking every step without hesitation and wonder if he knows the right path. They refuse to believe that he's just lucky and question how that's possible when they lost a dozen members just trying to understand the structure of the first half of this dungeon, and such valuable information is beyond the grasp of an F-rank member like him. Sirius suddenly takes a leap, so they believe it's over and that he really only made it this far because of luck. Sirius mutters that he almost lost his balance, and Hill sees that he still hasn't triggered the trap. The system informs Sirius that he has to go 5 steps forward, so he remarks that he's almost there. A man surprisingly says he's really getting here before Sirius finally manages to reach them. The party is shocked to see that he reached them unscathed and didn't even trigger a single trap, and another says this must be luck before questioning if this guy can really sense the traps by intuition. Sirius smilingly tells Hills that this is what his training has taught him and that he doesn't have anything to do with Shirley, so Hills angrily puts his blade at his throat. Hills furiously remarks that this is impossible and doesn't believe in all that instinct nonsense, believing that he's just relying on sheer luck and sooner or later, his luck will run out. He declares that if that's the case, Sirius will lead the way from here on. A member thankfully sees that Bella is all right. Sirius notices a mustard mushroom growing on the ground near him and sees that it's a mushroom which increases strength and relieves soreness in demonic beasts, but it causes diarrhea in humans. He wonders if Yogg is hungry and if he should get some mushrooms for her. He plucks them out and is surprised by how good it smells, but he reminds himself that it's not edible for humans, so he should just get a lick. Hills suddenly asks what he's holding, so he shows that it's a mushroom, and Hills instantly snatches it out of his hand. He greedily gobbles up the mushroom and declares that after they conquer this dungeon, all the resources here belong to the Warrior Guild and the Slayer Squad, so Sirius can't take anything without their permission, so he should get to the front. Sirius agrees to follow his orders without question and declares that he won't stay behind and will lead the way for them. Surprised by what's gotten into him all of a sudden, Hills mutters that that's good. Another member cures Bella, and one apologizes to Bella since he didn't know she was assigned to the bait team. He says she should have told him since he's a vice captain after all, and it wouldn't have been a problem for him to assign her to another team. However, Bella reveals that she volunteered for that team, shocking him. She turns to see Ceres, who is telling Hills that only the path behind this door leads to the final boss, since the next door is a dead end. The healer tells Bella he's fixed her broken bone, so she thanks him, but the vice captain tells Bella that if she only joined the bait, or the so-called scouting team, to protect that F-ranked guy, she's killing herself since that team consists of the lowest-ranked members who are only used as cannon fodder and bait in order to not waste the guild's resources on their humble existence. He declares that they can only prove their value by acting as bait or clearing the way. He tells her to not do something foolish again and to not leave his side for the rest of the way since he's the best B-rank warrior and can protect her. Sirius tells Hills that there aren't any traps behind one door and they can go straight through, so Hills tells him to go and open the door. He asks if there's anything wrong with that since he won't put any of his capable team members at risk. He orders Ceres to cut the crap and open the door, so Ceres complies. As he's slowly opening the door, Hills warns everyone to stay alert because the door is about to open. He remarks that he suddenly has a stomach ache and tells everyone to watch out for traps. When the door is open, he orders everyone to stay alert since something unexpected might pop out. However, he suddenly starts feeling weird. Ceres heads in first, so Hills asks what's in there, remarking that he needs to tighten himself more and questioning how he could have an upset stomach at a time like this. He wonders if it's because of the mushroom earlier and tells himself to not move around too much. Ceres turns around and mutters that from what he can see, there are traps everywhere. He suddenly starts running forward and tells them all to keep up with him, but Hills orders him to walk instead of running. As the squad starts running, they question why they're all running so urgently when there isn't anything behind them. Hills remarks that he can't stop himself anymore before the vice captain urgently warns everyone that there's poison gas here as well, and another member says he can smell it too. So, it's definitely a trap. It really is a trap, but not the kind that they think it is. Hills embarrassingly orders them to cut the crap and run, or else they'll all be killed by the poisonous gas. Hills angrily asks Ceres if he knows what that mushroom did to him, and questions if he purposefully lied to him and led everyone to run. However, Ceres innocently declines and asks what's wrong with that mushroom. Hills fidgets a bit and mutters that it's nothing, so a squad member sets down a rock and asks Hills to sit down for a bit since he must be tired. However, Hills kicks him away and says there's no need for that before telling everyone else to snap out of it so that they can keep moving. He puts his sword on Ceres' shoulder and warns him that he'll kill him if he dares to run again, so Ceres shakily agrees. As they continue walking, Ceres tells everyone to not step on a specific title. He leads them past what seems to be the final trap, so Hills wonders why it feels like the deeper they go, the fewer traps there are since they haven't encountered a single trap or demonic beast so far. He wonders if Ceres has come here before, but suddenly catches himself and believes there's no way, since if he hadn't been with his team, even the D-rank demonic beast at the gate could have devoured him, and there's no way he could have reached this far alone. Ceres says the final boss's room should be just in front of them, so Hills remarks that if they can reach the final boss's room soon, they won't need him anymore. Whether he's done all this through luck or something else, Ceres' time here is up. Hills gets ready to kill him and destroys a stalactite to kill Ceres, remarking that it makes sense that an F-rank warrior can be killed by a trap in a dungeon, but a long tail swishes past Ceres and it attacks Hills instead. A huge monster lands down as Ceres questions if this place is going to collapse. Huge rocks fall down and separate Ceres from the rest of the party. Hills is smashed into the wall and remarks that he was barely able to make it since he blocked with his sword. Ceres realizes he's trapped before a voice slowly asks why there's still a human here. A girl slowly walks out of the shadows and says he's really disgusting. Arrows suddenly rain down on the monster and the party continues attacking, but it suddenly causes a huge shockwave. The puppet scorpion angrily roars as it's revealed that it's a level B monster. The vice captain tells the party to stay ready to fight, as Bella remarks that the sword they've given her is really heavy. The guy orders the large shields to get in front and limit his movement since they can't let it break in and destroy their foundation. The guy orders the archers in the back to shoot, but the scorpion bounces off all the arrows with its aura alone, and the attack doesn't work on it. Hills asks what they're waiting for and tells them to not be frightened by the aura of the demonic beast. He says they're going to attack together and orders them to not be afraid since there's only one demonic beast. Hearing some rustling, Ceres wonders if that sound just now was from a demonic beast, before a long tail suddenly lodges into the rocks beside him. The scorpion rushes forward and attacks him, but he swiftly dodges and tells it to try his punch of 3,190 attack points. One punch totally destroys the scorpion's stomach, and it falls down. A voice says it's awesome that he smashed one of her scorpion puppets with a single blow. Ceres remarks that the antidote to the poison is in the boss room ahead, so he can't spend any more energy fighting pointless battles and has a map anyway, so he can take a detour and escape. The demonic beast. Sathil says it doesn't matter since she was going to throw away anything touched by disgusting humans. She says she wanted it to rip his head off, but she'll have to do it herself now. Ceres sees that she's a female domestic beast, and says his head is not something she can just rip off with her hands. She declares that she won't touch his disgusting body with her hands, and remarks that she can kill those humans out there with one hand. She says she'll kill him first and then get to the humans outside. However, Ceres declares that it's his job to protect humanity, so he's going to stay and fight. And even if it costs him all his strength, he will stop her here. The system is turned on as Sathil rushes forward and asks if that's really the case. She wraps one leg around Ceres' throat and slams him down. The system informs Ceres that the target has been locked and the lust index is at 16%. Sathil tells Ceres that he's overreached. On the other side of the wall, the vice captain smilingly sees that the demonic beast's head is turning red, so their attack is starting to work. Meanwhile, Ceres remarks that Sathal is really fast, as she says, "It's impressive that he made it all the way here for a human, but this is it because Lord Ney hates it when a human steps into his room." Ceres groans in pain and remarks that he can't get her off of him since she's too strong. He inwardly declares that he has to stop her here. Surprised, Sathal says that's disgusting and asks how he dared to do that to her feet. Ceres' agility rises by 220. Meanwhile, the scorpion stabs a party member as Bella remarks that there hasn't been any sound coming from there for quite a while and wonders if Ceres passed out after getting hit by those rocks. She remarks that she has to get him out. She tells the vice captain Tyler to cover her while she gets Ceres out of the rubble. As she rushes forward, he asks her to wait and not go, but she inwardly tells Ceres it's going to be fine since she's here. The scorpion suddenly appears beside her and slashes at her, but Tyler quickly blocks its attack. Bella remarks that Ceres is a warrior and it's just a pile of rocks, so he should be fine. Sathil annoyingly mutters that Ceres is really disgusting as his agility rises by 340, and he coughingly says he finally broke free as Ceres questions how he dared to get her feet dirty and says she's going to make him pay. Is having this system just an excuse for him to be a pervert? Sathil kicks Ceres in the face and is surprised by how soft it is as he frustratingly mutters that he can't use instant slash and should have had a weapon with him. He rushes forward, remarking that he can only use his fists now, but Sathil kicks him away and mutters that it feels really good as his lust index rises by 54%. Sathil blushingly wonders what she's thinking and remarks that she has to kill this guy right now since it would be terrible if the humans outside got into Lord Ney's room. Sathil chucks a piece of the scorpion's corpse towards Ceres, so he quickly dodges and remarks that the agility is enough for him to avoid her attack. He concentrates the magic on one hand and destroys the scorpion's tail, but Sathil grabs his neck with her leg and says she won't let him break free this time and will strangle him with her leg. Ceres hurriedly tries his grip now, and his defense rises by 130 as Sathil puts her foot on his face and tells him to not touch her leg with his disgusting hands. She binds his hands to the ground with pieces from the scorpion's tail and blushingly declares that she'll crush his head right now. Several of Ceres' stats rise, as Sathil wonders why stepping on him like this gives her so much pleasure as the lust index rises to 66%. Her puppet scorpion outside starts wiggling, so Tyler tells everyone they're winning since the demonic beast is starting to lose its balance. Ceres' attack rises, as well as Sathil's lust index rises to 89%. The puppet starts attacking the adventurers with its tail, while Sathil's lust index increases to 95%. My guy Ceres is living the dream. Hills realizes the puppet is about to attack him with its pincer and that it's too late to dodge, so he barely manages to block it with his sword. He suddenly uses Tiger Roar Slash and slashes at the puppet, knocking it back. Sathil's lust index rises to 98%, as Hills remarks that the demonic beast doesn't seem very strong, so he can easily win. As the puppet growls, Hills orders his party to stand back because he will deal with it and show them what he can do as their captain at a rank.